Hey, shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I would like to start off by giving all honor, all glory, but most importantly, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and shalom to the elect. All right. So like I'm looking for my phone. So the title of this lesson is gonna be "Why We Suffer." You know, um, it's a thing that whether you're just coming into this or you're on your way, or if you're completely bugged out, and it's just a question that your average Jake at a certain point in time of their life is wondering to themselves, why am I going through this? Why are the people around me, or certain people that I see around me, now going through these things that I'm going through? Why do I see on the TV depictions of people who look like me, and they not going through the things that I'm going through? Or let's just say even people who don't look like us, and they not going through the same things as us, man. So for this very common question, we have a very simple answer when you're going into the scriptures, right? When you go, you know, you're considering the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Bible. You have the answers to every question that you could ever think of. All right, as long as it's within the realm of understanding, depending on the level of faith that has been imparted onto you. Okay, but with that being said, I pray that this is edifying, and I pray that I can make this short and sweet and straight to the point. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. It says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as I, Yahweh, Salakia, even as Yahweh my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." All right, you kind of understand the consensus, right? There is a group of people that they were taught statutes and judgments, even as the Lord had commanded for it to be done. You know, but I want to go to the first verse on that same chapter, just to prove it, man, because makes no sense for you to take something that doesn't belong to you and try to put it upon yourself. Try to hold yourself to a certain caliber, and you weren't created to fit this role. You know what I'm saying? You're not the people of the Lord, okay? Which is why the Lord is not dealing with everybody in the same way. It says Deuteronomy 4 and verse Salakia, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, "Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live, and go in and possess the land in which Yahweh, your power, the power of your fathers giveth you." And that is the same thing that Moses told the people of Israel, right, when he was given the task to present these law, statutes, and commandments to them. He told them, "Choose ye this day life," right, which is basically him telling them to choose the law, statutes, and commandments, man, right? Because that's the only way you're gonna be able to live, right? The following after any other way is only leading towards death. Okay, you can only attain life through taking heed to the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But I digress. I want to grab Isaiah 4 and 2 just to continue on the point. It says, "And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem." So, there's the people of Israel who were given the law, statutes, and commandments, and then there's these other nations, right? But when you read in Isaiah 2 and 3, it's talking about a prophecy going into a time that has yet to happen, a thing that has yet to take place, which is what these other nations looking at us for what we are, right? Which we are the sons of we are Yasharala, right? The princes of power, right? The sons of a living power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, and out of through us does the world gain its stability or regain its stability and or its natural order. You know, right now things are out of order, and it's because we're not in our position of rulership, right? Our Lord Yahweh Shai is not the set in his throne, right, to rule over the kingdoms of this world yet, you know. But when this does happen, right, it's gonna be made no, it's gonna be made manifest, right? The things that were written in Deuteronomy 4 and 6, that what surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Right now, man, we're like you know, as dross, you know, whereas dirt, filth, you know. But we're getting ready to be where, let's just say, we're in a process of being refined into these pure vessels, you know. So I want to grab Deuteronomy 4:1 now. It says, "Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you." Or Salaki, I already read this, but you know, it's through the Spirit, right? Because yes, hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes, laws, and commandments that were given unto you, right? By your powers, right? Or by the power of your forefathers, his prophets, right? His teachers, right? Those men that were set up to let you know what is written in this book and how it pertains to you. Okay? So I'm going to jump to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. It says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day." And of course, this is talking to Israel, because we already stated that these laws, statutes, and commandments were given unto Israel, and that there will come a point in time that these laws, statutes, and commandments will be then taught to these other nations, you know, through the nation of Israel, right? This is a time that has yet to take place, right? Because this is something that's going to happen in the kingdom to come, so to say. I'll read on. It says, "To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." Of course, so that what? We may be an example, so that we may be appraised, and so that these other nations may get right. They got to learn the laws somehow. You know, they need an example, just like how we have our example, right, by the prophets and and our Lord Yahweh Shai. You know, these nations are going to have an example by having the whole nation of Israel living righteously, right, according to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, and it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice," right, the other side of the coin now, "to the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And this is the state in which we're in now. This is why we suffer, because we refuse to hearken to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai. Now we're in a state of being oppressed, all right, being put under our enemies. Instead of being on high and above all these other nations are now above us, right? And above them is the lowest of the low, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, the nigga who's in charge of the kingdom that we see you know, terrorizing the Lord's creation, to this day. You know, this is what we're witnessing, man. But we're getting ready to see these things. Let's just say these things get made right again. You know what I'm saying? These things that have been turned upside down to be made upside right again. So boom, I'm gonna jump back to Deuteronomy, but this time I'm going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 2. It says, "And Moses called unto all Israel and said unto them, Ye have seen all that Yahweh did before thee, before you in the land of Egypt, unto Pharaoh and unto all his servants and unto all his land." Right, going into the curses that the Lord plagued Egypt with, right? One of them being, you know, the death of the firstborn child, going into not just the children of men, but also like the the firstborns of their flocks, right? So all their firstborn cows, their firstborn chickens, their firstborn whatever, dead, you know, showing you that, you know, the Lord did these things to prove a point, you know, but he did those things for us. That's why Moses is telling us to keep those things in mind, man. I read that back. It says, ye have seen all that Yahweh did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh and unto his servants, unto all his land, right? And he did that with the consensus of let my people go, you know. Keep that in mind, man. There's a reason why we keep the holy days that we do and the things that we keep in remembrance, man. Most importantly, man, you got to keep these scriptures in mind, man. That's how we come back to our heritage. This is how our pure minds are stirred up by the way of remembrance. Going into these scriptures, it says, verse Deuteronomy 29:3. It says, "The great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles." Right, the bread that was given to us from the heavens, you know, the manna, right, the water from the stones, and hey, man, the Lord did many of things and continues to do things and has always done and always will do things for His people. It says, "Yet Yahweh have not given you an heart to perceive and eyes to see and ears to hear unto this day." So unto this day, our people have been walking around with these hearts fat and these ears dull of hearing, you know. Hearts fat, hearts made fat with pride and ears made dull, you know. They're not able to perceive these things that are being brought out of the Bible, you know, and they're not also given the ability to go into the Bible themselves and extrapolate the things which are going to be necessary for them to apply, okay, in order to obtain salvation. This is something that has only been given to the elect, as the scriptures say. The Israel seeketh, but the election have found it. Roughly paraphrasing. This is Deuteronomy 4:7. It says, "For what nation is there so great, who have the Most High so nigh unto them? As Yahweh, our power is in all things that we call upon him for. And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day?" No other nation. It's a rhetorical question. Okay. This is strictly singling out the nation of Israel from amongst these other nations of the earth. It says Deuteronomy 4:9. It says, "Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligent, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them to thy sons and thy sons' sons." We have to teach these things and pass these things down, because what, man? This is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee." So the Lord gave us this heritage, right? But we're destined to be discontinued from it, okay? Because of what? We transgress. So the Lord said he was going to fuck us up. You know, we read in Deuteronomy what he was going to do, right? If we didn't listen, and how he was going to use these other nations to get us, okay? I'll continue reading in Jeremiah. It says, "And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever." You know, and that forever is you know, you gotta understand when the Lord is speaking in a way that, you know, he's saying something that he wants you to feel versus something that he feels himself. Okay. I forget the name of the word. I think it's he's damn, it's crazy. I was talking with a brother. If it comes back to me, I'll post it in the comment section. But I'm gonna continue with the verses. Like I said, I was hoping not to make this too long. So this is Baruch 4:26. It says, "My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy." Why? Because we were discontinued from our heritage. Baruch 4:27. "Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you." Right? Yeah, the Lord is going to remember the elect of the nation of Israel, and through them, the nation as a whole shall be saved. Okay? But it starts off with the elect. And this is who this is who he's referring to when he's speaking of his children and those that are going to be of good comfort. All right. This is verse 28. It says, "For as it was in your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned," right? We were returned. All right. Scriptures say, "How shall they believe unless they how I'll grab it. As a matter of fact, I'll grab it. But I'll continue reading this. It says, "For as it was in your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek Him 10 times more. For He that brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation." Right? "Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for He that gave thee that name will comfort thee." So, again, that is the point right there as to why we suffer. We suffer because we transgress the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, us being the nation that was predestined to be the nation that was going to be above all these other nations of the world. Okay, so now it was a contract made with our forefathers, and because we transgress that covenant, you know, the things that are written of in Deuteronomy chapter 28, around the 15th verse on down, start to take place, right? Going into them curses, you know, which our people are under unto this day. You know, we read what was it that says this in Deuteronomy 29:4. You know, they don't have the eyes to hear, and the ears. They don't have the eyes to see, the ears to hear unto this day. But real quick, I had said I was gonna grab something, and I'll close it out with that one, because it says we were returned, right? Let me see. Yeah. Bear with me. Salaki, I didn't have this one lined up, but you know, prove all things. Right here, Salakia. It says Romans 10:13. It says, "For whosoever shall call on the name upon the name of the Lord shall be saved." Right. But in order for you to call on that name, you must know the name. Right. Verse 14. It says, "How then shall they call on Him in whom they have not believed?" And how you gonna believe? Right. And how shall they believe in Him of whom they have not heard? By hearing. You got to hear about Him in order for you to believe about Him, or believe on Him. It says, "And how shall they hear without a preacher?" Now, the only way you're going to hear about the Lord in order for you to believe in the Lord is by hearing about the Lord from a preacher, right? But there's more. It says, "And how shall they preach except they be sent?" Right? So there it is. That is how we were returned, okay? We were being returned. We were returned to our power, right? By being given the Spirit, right? And with that Spirit, right, came the fear and the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding of the word of the Lord, right? We were able to go into the Bible and extrapolate those things, which we were able to apply, and those things were then able to become profitable unto us and pleasing unto the Lord. Okay, I'll finish this verse and then we'll close it off on that, because that's why it says this right here. It says, "As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things." You know, but then it says this, "But they have not obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah saith, Lord, who have believed our report?" And then there it is, right? After that it says, "So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing of," and Salakia, "and hearing by the word of the Most High." So yes, man, Israel seeketh that which well, matter of fact, we'll grab that one and we'll close it. Because now it's coming back full circle onto the elect, which is why we make these lessons, which is why we go out on the highways and byways, you know, because the elect has to obtain this. The rest are going to be blinded. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. According as it is written, the Most High had given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. And that is why our people suffer. So in closing, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to the elect. And Salakia for this is, it was a little long, but amen. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom, Kwame Asherala, and Ababa Ball.